Imagine you're standing at the seafood case of a supermarket. Two piles of curled gray bodies sit on ice like commas in a sentence. One label says, shrimp. The other says, prawns. Same look, same cold air, different word. You pause because your brain wants a shortcut. Pick the better one. But what does better mean here? Bigger, sweeter, healthier, or simply the one that sounds more premium? Today we're going to slow that moment down. Not to turn dinner into homework, but to give you one way to choose right now. Let's get into it right here on Secrets of Simple Things. Why this feels confusing. Most of the time, shrimp and prawns taste so similar that your tongue can't reliably separate them. The confusion isn't in your mouth. It's in the story we tell around the animal. Two animals, one shortcut word. Start with the plain truth. Both are crustaceans, relatives of crabs and lobsters. They wear armor, breathe through gills, and move on jointed legs. In everyday English, shrimp and prawn are often treated as interchangeable. Biologically, though, the words can point to different groups of animals, and that difference shows up in how they're built and where they tend to live. In scientific terms, many shrimp are grouped under Pleocyemata, while many prawns fall under Dendrobranchiata. When a country changes the name. So why do the labels feel slippery? Because language is regional. In the United States and Canada, shrimp is the default term for almost anything you'd peel and sauté, whether it's technically shrimp or technically prawn. In the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, prawn is often the common word, even for animals Americans would call shrimp. How farming made the names blur. There's also a supply chain reason. Shrimp became one of the world's most traded seafoods. For centuries, people harvested wild shrimp along coasts, tidal flats, and estuaries, places where land and sea blur together. In parts of Asia, farmers later learned they could guide that abundance into ponds and lagoons, letting young shrimp enter with the tides, feeding them, and harvesting them months later. In the 20th century, hatcheries, formulated feeds, and better pond management turned that old idea into a modern industry. Once a food can be produced at scale, it becomes common on menus, and common things get simplified names. Freshwater prawns have a parallel story. In South and Southeast Asia, large river prawns were long caught in rivers, canals, and floodplains. By the mid-1900s, farmers began raising giant freshwater prawns in ponds more deliberately, and those methods spread. Reliability turns a seasonal catch into a predictable ingredient, and predictable ingredients shape what people expect to see at a market. Where they usually live, usually. Now let's talk origin, because this is where the supermarket decision becomes practical. Many shrimp in trade come from marine or brackish environments. Brackish means mixed water, neither fully salty like the open ocean nor fully fresh like a river. Think bays, mangroves, and river mouths. These are nurseries for countless species, shrimp included. Some of the most common farmed shrimp are naturally coastal animals that spend parts of their lives near these edge-of-the-world waters. If you want a mental map, picture three familiar travelers. White-leg shrimp, the most widely farmed shrimp today, is naturally from the eastern Pacific coast of the Americas and thrives in warm coastal waters. Black tiger shrimp is native across the Indo-West Pacific and is historically common in Asian markets. And the giant freshwater prawn, often sold whole with long arms, spends much of its life inland, yet its early life stages can begin closer to brackish river mouths before it moves upstream. Prawn, as many people use the word, often points to freshwater species. The giant freshwater prawn is a classic example, common in parts of Southeast Asia and India, where they're often grilled whole or simmered in curries and stews. But here's the detail that keeps the world messy. Even freshwater prawns can depend on brackish water early in life. Some hatch near river mouths, then migrate inland as they grow. So, if you want a rule that is always true, shrimp equals saltwater, prawns equals freshwater, you won't get one. Nature prefers trends, not absolutes. The body leaves clues. Okay, what about the science you can actually see? The easiest clue is the abdomen, the tail section you eat. Shrimp tend to have a more distinct curve, and their abdominal plates overlap in a particular way. The second segment overlaps both the first and the third, like one shingle covering two edges at once. Prawns are usually straighter, and their abdominal segments overlap in a neat sequence, each one covering the next like steps in a staircase. If one looks stacked and orderly, that's often the prawn pattern. Next clue, claws. Many shrimp have one prominent pair of front pincers that look larger than the rest. Prawns commonly have larger pincers on 3 pairs of legs. It's not a perfect test for every species, but when you're holding them whole and unpeeled, it's a useful hint. Under the shell is a difference you won't notice at the store without a microscope: gills. In many prawns, the Dendrobranchiata group, the gills branch like tiny underwater trees. In many shrimp, the gills are shaped more like plates. It sounds like trivia until you remember what gills are: the body's interface with water, the machinery of breathing and chemistry. Different gills are a sign of a different blueprint. Color is a lie, most of the time. Now, the thing shoppers notice first: color. Raw shrimp and prawns can be gray, translucent, bluish, or lightly striped, depending on species and origin. Cooked color is a trap. The pink-orange hue we associate with shrimp is mostly a pigment becoming visible as heat changes the proteins around it. That's why many crustaceans converge on similar colors in a pan. If you're identifying what you bought by how pink it turned, you're reading the fire, not the animal. Can you taste the difference? So how about taste and texture? Here's the honest answer: most people can't consistently tell. In blind taste tests, the guesses usually collapse into coin flips. Both have that mild sweetness and gentle briny flavor that works in scampi, gumbo, tacos, skewers, and noodle soups. Some chefs will say large prawns feel firmer and slightly sweeter, while shrimp can feel a bit more delicate. That can be true in a given dish, but the bigger drivers are species, size, and handling. A well-handled small shrimp can taste better than a tired, premium prawn that sat too warm. Health lives in the cooking method. Nutritionally, they're close cousins on your plate. Both are lean sources of protein and provide nutrients like vitamin B12 and iodine. They also contain omega-3 fatty acids, though amounts vary by species and diet. And yes, they can be relatively high in dietary cholesterol. The modern takeaway is simple: cholesterol in food often matters less than the overall pattern of your diet, especially saturated fat and ultra-processed additions. In other words, shrimp doesn't become unhealthy until we bury it under batter, deep fry it, and call it dinner. Why menus keep lying to you. So why does the confusion persist, even when biology gives real differences? Because culture and commerce reward simplicity. Markets want a short word that fits on a sticker. Restaurants want a word that sounds familiar to their guests. And sometimes, they want the word that sounds a little more special. In places where prawn is uncommon, it can feel like an upgrade. But the animal doesn't know that. It just keeps being itself. Don't buy the name, buy the purpose. Here's how you resolve the contradiction without getting cynical. Don't buy the name, buy the purpose. When you're shopping for a recipe, check 3 things. First, size. Size predicts how the meat behaves in heat. Small ones cook fast and melt into sauces. Large ones stay present and meaty. Second, origin and handling. Was it wild-caught or farm-raised? Fresh or previously frozen? Stored on clean ice or soaking in meltwater? Third, freshness cues. A clean sea smell, firm flesh, shells that look moist but not slimy, and no sharp ammonia odor. If those 3 are right, the word on the label matters far less. The 5-second rule. Now, the 5-second rule you can use at the case, especially if you're buying them whole and unpeeled. 1. Look at the curve and the belly segments. Strong curve, and that segment 2 overlaps both sides. Look. Think shrimp. Straighter body with neat sequential stacking. Think prawn. 2. Glance at the claws. 1 obvious big pair, often shrimp. Multiple big pairs, often prawn. 3. If the sign lists where it came from, remember the trend. Coastal marine and brackish systems often point to shrimp. Inland rivers and lakes often point to freshwater prawns. Not absolute, but helpful when you need a decision. Bonus. Cook them like they deserve. For smaller shrimp, think speed. Quick sauté with garlic and olive oil, then a squeeze of lemon at the end. They shine in stir-fries, pasta, and soups because they give flavor without demanding attention. For larger prawns, or anything labeled jumbo, treat them like a main character. Skewer and grill, or pan-sear and finish with a light sauce. Their firmer texture holds up well in curries and stews, where they can simmer briefly without falling apart. In every case, the rule is the same. Stop cooking the moment the flesh turns opaque and firm. If you like a number, 145 degrees Fahrenheit, 63 degrees Celsius, is a common target. But at home, look for firm, pearly, opaque flesh. A better kind of choice. And now we return to that supermarket pause. Because the point of SST isn't to win arguments. It's to see the ordinary with clearer eyes. Shrimp and prawns are not identical, but they are also not rivals. They're 2 variations on a small, armored life that spent millions of years solving the same problem: how to breathe, move, and feed in water. The only reason you felt confused is that language and trade moved faster than your instincts. So next time you see 2 labels and 1 pile of ice, don't let the words rush you. Take 5 seconds. Notice the body. Choose the size that fits your dish. And define healthy by how you cook it, not by what the sticker claims. If this changed how you see that seafood case, tell me in the comments. Where you live, do people say shrimp or prawns? And what are you cooking this week? And if you enjoy stories hidden inside everyday things, consider subscribing for the next one.